Señoras y señores, bienvenidos sean todos a la transmisión de prueba del Gran Campeonato de Planeadores Rally 2016 desde Santiago de Chile. Como podemos observar, tenemos en nuestras pantallas el mapa con la ubicación de los planeadores actualmente y donde podemos acercarnos a cada uno de ellos y observar cuál es la trayectoria en este momento, además de la ruta predeterminada para el día de hoy, el día de la primera práctica. En color azul podemos observar la trayectoria de la carrera y en color verde podemos observar los planeadores y sus competidores correspondientes. En el color rojo estarán los círculos por donde tienen que pasar los competidores para culminar la competencia.
Welcome to the transmission of the official training day for the SGP Chile 2016. We're now testing the devices. If the broadcast is not good, sorry for that, but we will improve it for tomorrow, the first day.
Must be behind the extended start line in 1 minute.
The start will be open in 1 minute. You can see in the screen the pilots. They are using now Spider devices. We can see the pilots in this official day going through the start line southward, preparing for the start to north. This is the official day, training day.
The start line will be open in 1 minute.
This is the official training day of the SGP Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile 2016. Now we're waiting for the start at 3 p.m. The gliders are now going to south to prepare to start northward to the first point, El Cobre.
The start line will be open in 30 seconds.
Sí.
Start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, that was the official instruction of the director Alfonso Soto to start the task. The system has a little delay, so in the screen you can see the gliders crossing the line a few seconds after the transmission. So we will start now the transmission following the spiders. Now they are over Vitacura Airfield, Santiago, Chile. ¿Te estoy viendo? ¿Se escucha? Ya, un buen volumen. Ah, ya, entonces empiezo a hablar entonces. ¿Me podéis traer la prueba? El sonido se pone aquí, ¿verdad? Ahí está acostado.
No, está abierto.
Okay, we are back now in the broadcast of the first official day in SGP Santiago, Chile. As you heard some minutes ago, Alfonso Soto did the start of the competition for today. This is a short task because the weather is not good for today. We have a mid not good. So as a training day, the director give to the pilots 190 kilometers to the first point, El Cobre. They will follow the ridges, probably low altitude. As you can see, we have the Ginta Sube glider and Thomas Gostner and Arturo Diez flying through the Los Potreros area. This is a very good thermal area. They are looking for a good thermal to climb and gain altitude to start the competition. All the pilots probably are thinking to cross very fast this area, gaining some altitude and go to El Cobre, approximately 50 kilometers north. Carlos Roca is on the official day too, but his device, the spy device, probably is not connected, is not transmitting the points. Now they are in crossing the Juan Pablo II road. It's the name of the Pope, the last Pope. It's a road to cross to La Dehesa. It's a very important neighbor to Chicureo, another neighbor at the west of Santiago. As I told you, this is a very good area of thermals. We can see the altitude of the glider now. I will select Arturo Diaz is now at approximately 1,500 meters of altitude. It's a little slow, but it's good enough to continue the race. Let's check now on Thomas Gostner. He's flying his GT Ventus 2 glider. He's in the same area, in Los Potreros. He's now at 1,600 meters, a little higher than Arturo Diaz. Probably they are climbing there. Yeah, you can see the speed of the glider, 120 kilometers per hour. That show us they are climbing now, probably looking for good thermals. Here we have Alex Chanes. He is flying a Ventus 2. Now they are at 1,400 meters, higher than Thomas and Arturo. They show us they are he found a good thermal, and probably in the next minutes he will cross to the next good hotspot, call it El Gordo. It's a very good hotspot where they probably cross to El Laboratorio, the next ridges. It's a very good ridge to gain altitude. Probably that will be the road, the logical road to cross to the next valley to El Gordo. And then Chacabuco, where is the first point, El Cobre. Gintasue from Lithuania now is a little higher than the others pilots. He is now at 1,500 meters. He's climbing too, but all of them are in the same area. You can see now the points where they will flying before the start over Vitacura. Normally the release point is over there. The pilots go to north to El Laboratorio, a very good hotspot area. Then they gain altitude to go to very fast to start and start line and start the task. And René Vidal, the other pilot, now he's at 1,500 meters, the same altitude, but a little closer than the others to the next point. So probably they will try to gain altitude. As I told you here in this ridge, this is El Laboratorio, Laboratorio Sur, the South Laboratory in English. It's a very good hotspot. So remember, this is a not good weather day. They expect climb approximately 2,000 meters, not higher than, so enough altitude to complete the task. First point is El Cobre. Then they go back 30 kilometers to Termas de Colina, then go back to El Cobre and return to Vizcachas, south of Santiago, south of Vitacura airfield, approximately 30 kilometers south, and go back to Vitacura. It's a very short task because the weather's not good today. We expect maybe rain tomorrow. We're very close to Pacific Ocean, so the influence of El Niño, a very special condition in our sea, produce high humidity, and the humidity go into the valleys and inside over the temperature of the air, and the thermals unfortunately disappear. And okay, let's check to Thomas Gosner. Where is it flying now? Well, it's again in altitude, 1,700 meters, flying close to El Laboratorio. I will try to put all the gliders in the same screen. Okay, you can see here the task is a short task for today. It's an official training day. Okay, now we are back. This is the first official and the only official training day of the SGP Santiago 2016. We are now in Vitacura Airfield in Chile. This is our first training. The weather is not good for today, so the director put a short task. The first point, here we can see all the tasks to north. This is the star line. The first point is in El Cobre, is a hill approximately 15 kilometers of Santiago, 45 kilometers, and the pilots need to cross at least 2 valleys to reach the point. Then they go back to the second point called Baños de Colina. It's a thermal place, a thermal hotel, and then go back to El Cobre, and then go to a point called Las Vizcachas at the south of Santiago, approximately 30 kilometers, and go back to the 3K and go finish the task here in Vitacura. So today, and they start at 3:30 p.m. and they are flying slow, trying to gain the first hotspot place to gain altitude called El Laboratorio. So we can see now René Vidal now is trying to get El Laboratorio, this ridge. It's a very good place to gain altitude. Now he's 1,500 meters. It's relatively slow to cross to El Laboratorio. Probably is trying to gain altitude and go to El Laboratorio. Normally, the pilots cross to this valley of Chicureo and go to El Laboratorio, and then normally surround this ridge, cross Colina River to this point, it's El Maraco Hill, special name in Spanish, then cross the ridges to El Cobre. It's a very easy task for today, but they are probably trying to gain altitude in a weak condition. We can see here, well, this is Charlie Charlie Alpha Alpha Whiskey. This is a duodiscus glider. It's not in the competition, but he's with a spider device too, and he's flying close with the competitors. But it's not in the competition. Carlos Roca is in the training too, but the device is not working. Probably he's flying with the others. Okay, let's check Thomas Gostner. He's now at 1,700 meters, the same altitude. They are flying in very weak condition. This area is Chicureo, a very good neighbor, and this is La Dehesa. And there a road cross the hills through Chicureo. This is Santiago. Our airfield Vitacura is located here in this point. It's a very good point to gain altitude and go inside the mountains. This is a very, very good area to fly in gliders. So today we have special weather conditions. We are very close to the Pacific Ocean, and normally when we have humidity, high humidity affect the inside valleys, as Santiago Valley or Chicureo Valley or Chacabuco Valley. We are at approximately 100 kilometers from the sea, and they affect the condition of the valleys. So it's we're in the summer in January. Normally, 1 or 2 days we are affected by this condition, and normally go back to the very, very good conditions. We expect for Sunday very good conditions to have interesting tasks inside the mountains. Okay, Thomas Gostner. Yeah, there's climbing to 2,000 meters and crossing the Colina River to El Maraco Hill. Let's check the other pilots. Oh, yes, the pack is moving to north. They cross to El Maraco. It's a very funny name in Spanish, El Maraco. The real name is Colo Colan. This is not a good ridge. Normally, the pilots use this ridge to cross to La Trucha. La Trucha is over here. They're trying to cross El Marago, then La Trucha, and go to the first point, El Cobre. They use this ridge. It's a very clear road north and cross to next valley. Probably they will fly very close to the ridge using the south wind to reach El Cobre and back to next point. Next point is Termas de Colina. Termas de Colina. Here we have an hotel and thermal water, special water, thermal. It's a nice place. And as we can see, Alex Chanes is flying in La Trucha. La Trucha, in English, is the trout, or something like that. It's a special name. And normally they can find good thermals here to prepare to cross to next valley. This is a very special place because these ridges are flat and you need altitude to cross to north. So even they always have the chance to cross to Chacabuco airfield. Let me see in the map. Okay, Chacabuco airfield is over there to west, maybe 15 kilometers. So this you can fly here very fast. So always have the chance to go to Chacabuco if you don't have any thermal. So it's a very good place to fly fast. Alex Chanes is crossing the valley at 1,700 meters. It's not high. Probably he's trying to reach the point in the middle of the valley. The normal road is close to the ridges, so probably they don't have strong thermals, and they are trying to go and back very fast to this area. This is the hot spot place, and probably they are making calculations to go and back with this altitude. Arturo Diez is closing the pack. Thomas Rosner, Quinta Sube, and Remidal are flying very close, and they're following the same way to Alex El Flaco Chanes, Alex Chanes. Probably Carlos Roca is flying with them. The spider device of Carlos Roca is not working. We will prepare for tomorrow for the first day. Today is the official training day. It's a short task. We are checking all the systems, the broadcast. Okay, now Alex Chanes cross this ridge. This is a gate to the next valley, and he will try to go east to use the lift of the ridges. This is a very good place because all the south wind produce lift here, and the gliders go very fast, normally at the same altitude and back. That's the same altitude, huh? They are flying at the same altitude. We suppose here there are thermal inversion. So this valley is surrounded by all these ridges. It's surrounded. They don't have an influence of the sea. We expect 30 degrees Celsius degrees for this area. And probably there are thermal inversion here. Well, Arturo Diaz is flying approximately 10 kilometers of the pack. He's flying in a Ventus C. All the other pilots are flying Ventus 2. That produce probably a little difference in the speed. So today's a tricky day. And they are flying too fast, but they are flying slow, and approximately 17 meters is not enough to go fast, because if they they commit a mistake, they need to go to the valley, and the conditions normally here that are not good, and they need to go to the El Chacabuco airfield to the west. In this place, Chacabuco airfield. Okay, Thomas Kostner is leading the pack. Altitude, let's check. 2,000 meters, yeah. They gain some altitude, 300 meters. Normally they were flying a thermal, probably. And it's very close to the first point. This is the Chacabuco Valley. We have here south wind from south, and the road, this is the highway, and cross the ridges. They have here a tunnel and cross to the Los Andes Valley. Los Andes Valley. Normally, this area is very good for the wind, produces very good lift. Thomas Kostner is trying to reach the first point, 2,000 meters. It's good enough to go to the point and back. First place, Thomas Gosner. Second, Quinta Sube, René Vidal, and Alex Chanes. Probably Carlos Roca is flying with them in this area. We don't know where it is because the device of Carlos Roca is not working. And they are close to the first point in El Cobre. Okay, here we have back the map. These ridges have approximately 1,800 meters, and they are flying over 2,000 meters. Okay, Thomas Gosser is close to the first point, and the other pilot is using the ridges. Just probably uses the lift that produce the south wind and go fast and back. Arturo Diaz is at last position, very far from the pack. Let's check the altitude of Arturo. $1,800 meters. It's a good altitude. It's good altitude to cross to the Chacabuco Valley. Okay, let's go back to the pack. Thomas Gosser is reaching the point now, leading the pack. Very close, René Vidal, Alejandro Chanes, and Quinta Sube. Okay, Arturo Diaz crossed to the valley of Chacabuco Valley. Probably he will fly, follow this ridge. The event to see is a little older than Ventus 2, and the conditions not the same, but it's flying close. Probably they gain altitude in La Trucha. In this point, it's a very good hotspot, and it's flying straight ahead to the point. We are using spider devices. They send us a point approximately at 1 minute or 1 kilometer. We're transmitting now from Vitacura Airfield in Santiago, Chile. This is the official training day of the Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile 2016. Today we have weak conditions. The director gave to the pilots very short task. First point, El Cobre, at 45 kilometers from the start line in Vitacura. Then go back to Termas de Colina, same line, 23 kilometers south, and then go back to the same point, El Cobre, another 23 kilometers. And then they need to go to Las Vizcachas, or Vizcachas, is 70 kilometers south, and go back to 3K and Vitacura, approximately 30 kilometers. Well, Thomas Gosner is leading the pack again, followed by Quinta Sube from Lithuania, René Vidal in Alex Flaco Chanes, and Arturo Diaz. He's going to the first point. It's slow than the rest of the pilots. They're flying between 1,700 meters and 2,000 meters. Is enough altitude to make this way to El Cobre. They have a Chacabuco airfield here, approximately at 15 kilometers. It's a very safe area to fly. They're going back to Termas de Colina Point, follow the same way. Probably there are an energy line here. Normally, the pilots use the reaches. They use the lift of produced by the south wind, but on this occasion they are going direct to Termas de Colina. Probably here there are energy line, and they are trying to go fast to the next point because they need to go back to El Cobre and then Vizcachas. This is 190 kilometers task. The start was at 3:30 p.m. We are waiting for the next refresh of the spiders. Now the pack is going to south. Then to next point, Termas de Colina is at 23 kilometers south. They are using the same way to the second point and then go back to El Cobre. We are waiting for the refresh of the spider system. Carlos Roca is flying today with the other pilots, but the Spider device is not working in his glider. Probably he's flying with them. Oh, okay, we can see Rene Vidal. He decided to make another way. He's using the ridges. It's a very good idea because the ridges, the south wind produce very good lift in the ridges, and the pilot can fly faster than others using the valley. Let's check the altitude of René Vidal. 1900 meters is the same altitude from the start line to the first point, and they're flying to the second point, Termas de Colina, and they are flying between 1800 meters and 2000 meters. Probably they are a thermal inversion over 2000 meters. Thomas Costner is flying at 1800 meters at 116 kilometers per hour. It's very slow. Probably they are using all the lifts in the way, and they are flying very conservative way, trying to avoid lose the altitude. Thomas Costner reached La Trucha. This is a good hotspot place to gain altitude, and he's at approximately 8 kilometers from Baños Termas de Colina point. This is the second point. And then go back to El Cobre. Probably the strategy will be go try ahead to Termas de Colina and go to west to try to gain some altitude in this ridge. This is El Maraco ridge. Depends the day. El Maraco is a good place to gain altitude. Another days it's not good. And probably they go back to this point where they are now in La Trucha to gain altitude to go back to El Cobre, follow the same way. They're flying between 1700 meters and 2000 meters. Okay, Thomas Costner is now in the point. Second place, René Vidal. Guinta Sube and Alex Chanes, they are in La Trucha. Trying probably gain some altitude to go to Termas de Colina. Okay, Thomas Gosner is now in over the Baños de Colina. Here there are hotels, and it's close to this ridge, El Maraco. Let's check the strategy of Thomas Gosner. In this area, the ridge is flat, so the pilot must be very careful with the strategy, because if he can't catch very fast the thermals in this area, he need to make a decision and maybe go to Chicureo, to the next South Valley, to the airfield in Chicureo, because in this area there are not any place where to land. So the pilots need to keep the altitude. Okay, Thomas Costner, go back to this ridge. It was very obvious. And René Vidal is flying here in El Maraco. Let's check the altitude of Thomas Costner. The same altitude, 1700 meters, is enough to go back to El Cobre. Ginta Sube altitude is 1700 meters, the same of the other competitors. 1600 meters. Probably he's trying to gain altitude. He's at the west of La Trucha. This is not a really good area to gain altitude, because all this is a ridge, but in this area the ridge is flat, so you need to catch a thermal very fast, because there are no places to land here. So you need to make decisions: go to Chacabuco airfield, or go to Chicureo airfield. So probably they are. He's clear to go to Termas de Colina Point and then go to the ridge of El Maraco to gain altitude and go back to El Cobre. So I think 1600 meters is good enough altitude to make this. René Vidal is now going to Baños de Colina. Termas de Colina, really. It's 1900 meters. It's the same altitude. Thomas Gosner is now in La Trucha, a very good hotspot. The way is very logical. Termas de Colina, then go back to El Maraco Ridge, then go to La Trucha, and then go try ahead to the El Cobre, follow the same way, same route of the 10 minutes ago. Probably there are an energy line here, and they are flying between 1700 and 2000 meters. Arturo Díaz now is in El Cobre. Let's check the altitude of Arturo. 1900. It's okay. Here we can see all the area. This is Chacabuco Valley. Chacabuco Valley. This valley is surrounded by these ridges, and it has south wind. That wind produces very good lift in these ridges. So today we have a weak condition. The task is very short. It's 119 kilometers. Well, Alex Chanes and Ginta Sube are going to the Termas de Colina, and René Vidal is flying to north through this ridge, and then probably he will cross to La Trucha, where is flying now Thomas Gosner. 1700 meters now. This is the official training day of the Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile, Vitacura Airfield. This is the Club de Planeadores de Vitacura. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be the first day of the SGP qualifying in Vitacura. We have 11 competitors. Today is the official training day. The task is starting in Vitacura to El Cobre at 45 kilometers north, then go back to Termas de Colina, 23 kilometers, then go back to El Cobre, and go to Vizcachas. This is 30 kilometers south of Vitacura Airfield, and then go back to 3K and Vitacura. It's a 190 kilometers task. Now the competitors are going to El Cobre. Thomas Gostner is now flying to El Cobre. We're waiting for the refresh of the spider system. Okay, now we have Arturo Diez is going to Termas de Colina, but Thomas Gostner is going to El Cobre by second time, so he's flying to the west area of El Cobre. Let's check the altitude. I think it's a little slow. Yeah, it's a little slow, 1450 meters. 1400 meters. Probably he tried to cross this ridge to El Cobre, and he was very slow to cross, and he's surrounding the ridge to go to El Cobre. I think he need to climb here to have enough altitude, because all these ridges are flat, and normally there are not good thermals here. Good thermals and good lift are here in the ridge and not in this area. So probably Thomas Gostner will try to gain altitude here in this ridge, climb this area, going again to 1700 or 2000 meters and go fast to El Cobre Point, and then go direct to Las Vizcachas to south. Yeah, very interesting. Thomas Gostner is now climbing in this area. He's at... Oh, it's lower than, than the other ridge he's flying at. at 1300 meters. It's not good altitude. This he need to climb because he need to go back to La Vizcacha, so go to the next point of La Vizcacha, and he there are many passes here. First here, and this ridge is very high. Then La Trucha is very high. Then El Laboratorio is very high. So they need to climb first. Let's check René Vidal, where is. Maybe he was a little patient, more patient than Thomas Gosner. Probably he's gaining altitude. Okay, yes, he's gaining altitude here. Let's check the altitude of René Vidal. Yeah, 1900 meters. Yeah, good strategy. I think this strategy is better than Thomas Gosner's strategy. Okay, let's check all the back. Arturides is flying in this area. Let's check this spider. I think is we have a little delay here. 5 minutes. Okay. Yep. He's trying to go to Termas de Colina. It's important to say this area is there are a lot of ridges here. You find different orientation of the ridges. This ridge is east-west. This ridge is north-south, and this ridge is east-west or to the southeast, maybe. So there are gates in these ridges. So the strategy need to have enough altitude to cross the gates. René Vidal gain altitude in La Trucha and wait to gain more altitude than Thomas Gosner, and he's flying higher than Thomas, and probably he will cross this gate and go to El Cobre faster than Thomas. Thomas prefer go fast and slow to El Cobre, and probably he would not pass this gate, and he flew surrounding the ridge. And now he's in this point. There is not a good point to climb. There are thermals, but they are weak than the thermals of the ridges. See? Oh, really? It's at the same 1300 meters. Interesting. Let's see how Thomas climb. Quinta sube. Probably he was following Thomas Gosner. And let's check the altitude of Quintas. 1400 meters. Not enough to go direct to El Cobre. Okay, this as I told you, this is very interesting. The strategy in these mountains, because the ridges have different orientation. So if you don't need the correct altitude to cross the passes to north or south, you will face a ridge, and you need to surround the ridges. This is the experience of Thomas Costner in Quinta Sube. So René Vidal and Alex Chanes are flying close to the ridges. They gain altitude, enough altitude to cross the passes. Let's check the altitude of Alex Chanes. Okay, 1800 meters, very similar to René Vidal. Probably they will go faster than Ginta Sube and Thomas Costner to El Cobre. And probably they will gain altitude to go back to south and go to Vizcachas. It's very interesting, the different strategies. So as I told you, this area is a flat area, and there are not good thermals, but you never know. Okay, now Alfonso Soto will continue the broadcast. Alfonso.
Y aquí paso para allá. ¿Ya? Ahí está listo. Good afternoon to the international community that is following the Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile. This is Alfonso Soto, the director of the contest, following with the transmission of the official practice day. As Rodrigo was explaining a few minutes ago, we have different strategies for Chanes and Vidal that are flying much higher than Gosner and Gintas. And also Arturo is now going back to mark the point at the Termas de Colina. and then he will have to go back again to El Cobre before continue south. So it seems that Chanes and Vidal are the one that are in a better position so far, and we don't know about the position of Carlos Roca. He has today a problem with the transmission. The spider track is not working properly in his glider. So now we had a refresh, and we see that Vidal is ahead of Chanes going south. Gintas, let's see what's happening with Gintas. He is flying at 1,300 meters, which is rather low for that area. And let's see about Chanes. Chanes is flying at 1,600 meters, which is a good altitude. And Diaz, Arturo Diaz, is flying at 2,000 meters. He's very high for the day, for a very weak day like today. And Gosner, let's see what happened with him. He is now also at 2,000 meters, so he got higher finally to make the El Cobre turn point. So he will be able to continue now following the same route of Vidal and Chanes. Vidal is flying at 1,800 meters going south, so they have to follow now the map in the south direction as I am showing up to this turn point, which is Vizcachas. And from Vizcachas, then they will have to go back to 3K and Vitacura, where they finish the race for today. Let's see the whole picture now again. Gostner already made the Cobre turn point, and he started going south, following then Chanes and Vidal. Gintas is still complicated at that area. He continued flying at 1,300 meters. He will have to get some hot spot around that area to continue the race. If not, he will have to probably land in this area where we have the Chacabuco airfield. Yeah, you can see now that Gosner made the point, and he's flying back through the high ridges, following the route of Chanes and Vidal. So his strategy of going at a low altitude to go to the El Cobre turn point, it didn't work very well, and he's now behind Vidal and Chanes. Gintas finally got a hot spot, and now it's at 1,800 meters. So now he finally did it, and he will be able to go to the El Cobre turn point to continue south also. And this is now going to the Termas de Colina turn point. Then he will have to go back to Cobre and then south. Gostner continue flying the higher ridges. He will make the whole turn to go south. This is the turn point Termas de Colina, where they went before, and where Arturo Diaz is now going. Now you can see also a different strategy between Chanes and Vidal. Vidal is crossing from this ridge directly to go south, and let's see the altitudes, because Chanes is going outside at 1,500 meters. So that's the reason, because he opened up his track, because he lost altitude, and he is now at 1,500 meters. Since Vidal continue at 1,700 meters. Vidal is 200 meters above Chanes, and that's the reason, because he was able to cross this valley here, to go to what we call the North Laboratory, before he can continue south. So he will probably get some more altitude here in the south and North Laboratory to continue through these ridges and cross the Mapocho Valley to continue to the south turn point. This, on the other hand, is continue flying at 2,000 meters. So he is not making a fast race, but he is flying much higher to ensure to be able to continue the race. It's more conservative than Chanes and Vidal. Sube now, Quinta Sube is now going to the north turn point, El Cobre. He's in the direction of El Cobre. And Chanes is on the same area, probably trying to get a hot spot before to continue south. We got to refresh now. Let's see the altitude of Chanes. He's still at 1,500 meters, trying to get some hot spot before to continue south. Yeah, Arturo Diaz now is going back from the Termas de Colinia turn point to El Cobre again. So he's following the same track on the higher side of the ridges. And so in a few minutes, we will see that he will make the El Cobre turn point to continue south to the last point. Diaz and around this area is going north, and Gosner is on the same area but going south. Gosner already made the northern turn point, El Cobre, and he is now going south following Chanes and Vidal. Chanes got a low altitude in this area, and Gosner is coming higher, so probably Gosner will be ahead of Chanes in the next minutes. So before, in the meantime, as Rodrigo was explaining before, we have a very weak day today. The meteorological conditions are very weak, and there are no conditions to make a task inside of the mountains. So we are flying just what we call the pre-mountains at a low altitude. And probably tomorrow will be the worst day during this week. And after that, we hope to have some better days. So by the beginning of next week, we should be able to set up some higher altitude tasks going into the mountains to make much more interesting the contest. But because of the El Nino meteorological phenomena, this season has been very strange. We have had much more humidity coming from the seaside, and that makes that we have high temperature but with high humidity, which is completely abnormal for this area of the country. And that's the reason because we have had very bad conditions. And during the last weeks, we also had one day that we couldn't make the race in our nationals competition. And so we have to wait for the next days to see what happened, and well, to make a race according to the met conditions that we have this year. So in the next days, we will see what happened, and we hope that we can show you a more interesting race. Anyway, starting tomorrow, we will have all competitors in the first day, official day of competition, because today we have only 6 pilots in the official practice day. So anyway, by tomorrow, we will have all of them in the race. Okay, we are back again. Uh, we see that Arturo is now at the northern point, El Cobre, and Chanes uh, and Gosner are going south now. And as I said before, Gosner is ahead of Chanes now because Chanes lost altitude and he got a hot spot around here to get higher and to go to the North Laboratory. Gosner was coming higher through the eastern ridges, and he overpassed Chanes, and he will now follow the same ridges that I am showing now to follow the track of René Vidal. René Vidal is now arriving to the area of Vitacura. This is Mapocho River, so he will just cross now the valley of Mapocho River to continue the ridges of San Ramon Hill. The top of San Ramon Hill is this one, which is 3,100 meters, but he will follow the lowest part of the ridges of San Ramon uh, to go south to the Vizcacha stern point that I am showing now uh, before he go back north to 3K to be aligned with the finish line. So we can see now in the refresh that Vidal already passed the Mapocho River, and let's see at what altitude he is doing that now. At 17, almost 1,800 meters, which is a very good altitude to follow the ridges. You can see that anyway, he is following the lowest part of the ridges, okay, at that altitude. But is and go to is position to finish the race day. And see now all picture and so continue of channels and we will see the altitudes. There is a two meters channel is coming behind now is 800, almost 200 meters lower than Gosner. So now Gosner is in a better position to accelerate and get more speed before crossing the river. The same track ridges of the San Ramon Hill. So in the next minute, we'll see also Valley. And let's see what is also. And he went to the, you can see there, Dice, se perdió la conexión y ahora le di reintentar y está ahí, ahí volvió acá, aparentemente. Pero esta es la pantalla que te muestra lo que está saliendo.
Sí. Estamos conectados a administración.